Hello everyone. There was an article on 1st January in the Hindu, namely an unfortunate ideological shift in the judiciary. Now this article is very relevant for our sociology paper 1 and 2 as well. So when you're talking about paper 1, there is this segment on religion and society. So there have been numerous questions on secularization, right? And there are also questions on religious revivalism. So for both these topics, this paper, this particular editorial gives you the fodder, and it actually helps you contextualize that question in current day-to-day happenings. So definitely, Harlombus will provide you the fodder on secularization and religious revivalism. Why do we read newspapers? Because it helps us to understand that particular theme through our day-to-day happenings. And this is the demand of the questions these days. In paper 2, this becomes very important in again religion and society. There are questions on secularization and religious revivalism in specific to Indian society. Now when you're talking about Indian society, this case study, this whole dimension, there are too many interesting points that has been provided here. Now that will help you contextualize the process of secularization as well as religious revivalism in Indian society. So we will kind of discuss both these ideas in some detail. So firstly, if we talk about religion and society, the idea of secularization believes that there would be a weakening or disappearance of religion with modernization. So in West, there was this whole idea that as there would be development and with modernization, there will be a social change. Now this social change will erupt in political as well as economic and social sphere. One of the major social change that has been witnessed in the West, according to a lot of scholars, that there is a disappearance of religion with modernization. So what happens that as the society modernizes, the whole idea of individualization and disenchantment from the community and the religious life takes place. Now as the society individualizes, there's a process of individualization, the role of society diminishes, and religion is a very basic fabric of that society, right? So religion comes into the personal space. The public role of religion in the public sphere, that kind of diminishes. And so religion particularly does not fades away completely, or it does not vanished completely, but religion becomes the domain of an individual life in the personal space. So yes, everybody practices religion, and there are people who would not practice religion, but the role of religion in politics, and because we know that earlier in the West there was a kind of semblance of the church and the the state. So that linkage has been broken up with modern state structure. So for example, in the French society, we see that the state and the religion have demarcated, and there is a line that is drawn between the state and the religion, which is very much visible in a French society. Along with that, in other Western societies as well, the process of secularization basically means that you separate the state from the religion. Now, within Indian society, this idea is different. If we read Bhargav, he talks about the process of secularization in the sense that in Indian society, the role of state in religion does not completely vanishes. There is a certain amount of role that is still present. There is the state does interfere into the religious life to a certain level. So this way, the idea of secularization in Indian society as well as in the West is somewhat different, and we will talk. I'll try and explain that in another theme, in another video sometime later. But right now, when we are talking about this particular editorial, I wanted to give a background. So first thing, that the role of secularization in the West, its understanding is different from the understanding in India. Now, what is secularization? Basically, the disappearance of religion in the public sphere and in these states. That is the crude understanding of secularization. That is the thesis. If we try and understand from a Marxian perspective, the thesis is secularization, and the antithesis would be religious revivalism. Now, religious revivalism basically means, a lot of scholars, a lot of sociologists believe that rather with modernization, religion has come back into the picture. The role of religion has increased. So there is a kind of religious reawakening. So, if you talk about the reasons of religious reawakening, there are a lot many, but to point out few, because there is alienation, there is disenchantment, there is a lot of enemy in the society. People have become anxious, and religion provides you that forum to come back to to a model ground. So you would see also that the idea of spirituality has increased so much, the idea of new age religion has increased so much. So these are the examples of religious revivalism. Religious revivalism also means the resurgence of communalism. So the idea of conflict has increased. So within, especially in a plural society like India, the idea of conflict is very pertinent, because we have different religion, and there is an intermixing of religious ideas, and it creates a kind of tension and chasm. There is this idea that we need to protect our religion from the enemy. So obviously, I mean, in a homogenized society, when there is one religion, or there is two religion, so what happens is that the conflict and the tension decreases, and there's less tension. Whereas when you have a plural society, the tension increases. And that is one idea, because India is a plural society. So especially in a modern setup, communalism would also, and the conflict would also increase. So religious revivalism is also in terms of conflict. It is also in terms of new age religion. Now, this particular theme, editorial, would talk about religious revivalism in a very modern state idea, where judiciary is supposed to be a modern concept. The constitution has built up the judiciary with modernization process, and so judiciary is actually the product of modernization, and it is considered that it is scientific, and it is something which would have a modern outlook. It would have institutions which would be depersonalized, right? And it would be a kind of a formal setup, and the role of religion would diminish as society progresses. So the idea of separation of powers is a modern idea, because we are saying that the role of state in religion has to decrease, and the role of religion in state has to decrease, which means that also separation of powers, not just of judiciary and the legislative and the executive, but also what is the role of religion in judiciary and in politics. So as society modernizes, there has to be this division and this complete demarcation between state and religion. So that was the whole idea, but the author talks about this particular incident. Now, while writing about answers, we do not have to mention these incidents. These incidents are basically, they act as a fodder, in the sense that it will help you open your mind and broaden your ideas, and would actually help you to contextualize a particular question in in our day-to-day current happening. So there was this there was this meeting wherein there was this topic of decolonization of the Indian legal system and the Indianization of legal system. Now, Indian society is a transitioning society. It is moving from a traditional setup to a modern setup. So a lot of thinkers, they say that Indian society has not evolved into a modern society completely, and because this is happening, we have traditional elements within a modern setup. Right. So judiciary is actually not completely modernized, and this particular case study will tell you that the traditional ideas and the ideology would uh, there would be a resurgence of that within institutions like judiciary, which are supposed to be very modern, which are supposed to be depersonalized, and which are supposed to be developed in the scientific form. So there's this particular case where where the judge has talked about how the teachings of ancient philosophers like Manu and Kautilya needs to be brought in. Talked about that about Kautilya's theory, and he related it with the judiciary, and he talks about Ramayana. He talks about that the ideas of modern methods of adjudication, they were prevalent in indigenous jurisprudence. Then he talked about judicial corruption, and he quoted Brihaspati. So the idea is to talk about religious revivalism. The tenets of religion are used, and it is present even in modern institutions, right? Like judiciary. Why is it happening in India? If you take it as a case study, because there is uneven development. What does it mean by uneven development? Because the political modernization was presupposed uh, as compared to social modernization. What happened in the West? The social modernization happened first, which was followed by the political modernization. So the mindset changes, the social norms changes, and then the constitution, the legal system, and the modern ideas in the state kind of democracy, of equal voting rights came up. Whereas in India, what had happened, a lot of authors would talk about uneven development or uneven modernization, which means that firstly we had political modernization. The constitution was given by the colonial power, and the constitutional ideas of democracy and voting rights, secularism, it was handed over to us, and thereafter we were trying to change the social norms. We were trying to situate the idea of modernization in the social sphere. So political modernization in India happened first, and then social modernization followed. So this is the basic reason why religious revivalism is happening in the political. If there is a question upon secularization or religious revivalism, you need to take a balanced view. Even if there is a question on secularization, do talk about religious revivalism. And if there is a question on religious revivalism, do talk about secularization. And this particular case study will give you that fodder on how to approach a question that is on religious revivalism. You can talk about how in a transitioning society like India, which is moving from a traditional society into a modern society, there are tenets of religious ideology that is entering into the modern institutions. Now, what are these modern institutions? These are this would include your judiciary, this would include your political sphere, it would include your capitalism, the whole modern concept of economy. So there is a resurgence of religion in the modern ideas, and